Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Cold War drama Dana Andrews, I Was a Communist for the FBI. This episode, entitled Treason Comes in Cans, was originally broadcast December 17th, 1952.
I was a communist for the FBI. Starring Dana Andrews in an exciting tale of danger and espionage. I was a communist for the FBI. From the actual records and authentic experiences of Matt Cvetic come many of the incidents in this unusual story. Here is our star, Dana Andrews, as Matt Cvetic, who for 9 fantastic years lived as a communist for the FBI.
For 9 years, I managed to live on a communist diet, a diet of indigestible ideals and poisonous philosophies. But even I was shocked to learn that red poison came in cans. This story may save you from a violent case of political ptomaine.
Now, here is Dana Andrews as Matt Cvetic, Undercover Man. This story from the confidential file is marked, Treason Comes in Cans.
I should have been used to darkness by now. My life had become a series of grotesque shadow dances for the FBI, with the commies playing the music. But you never get used to darkness when the shadows are alive with treachery, when the mist is like the breath of disaster. The fog hung like a soggy veil over this tiny waterfront town. The buildings, the bleary street lights, everything seemed without shape or form, swimming in a limbo of mist and darkness. And what was I doing here, walking the wet pavements of this waterfront street? I was looking for one particular building, the home of the Oceanic Import Company, a food importing concern that no one ever heard of. That is, no one but me and the commies who'd sent me here. And then, almost too suddenly, the fog swirled with movement. A light appeared over a doorway just ahead, and the darkness spoke to me.
Cvetic.
Who's that?
Wagner.
Oh, I've been looking for you, comrade.
Never mind that. This way, in here.
I stepped out of the darkness into the lighted doorway. The door closed behind me. When it stopped blinking, I found myself facing the distinguished director of the Oceanic Import Company, Comrade Eric Wagner. He welcomed me with typical commie friendliness.
You're late, Cvetic.
I know, that fog is
Of course,
pretty...
the fog. Nevertheless, you're late, aren't you?
Well, I suppose I am.
Aren't you?
All right, I'm late. Do you want a note from my mother?
I suppose your record for competence makes up for your lack of discipline.
Yeah.
Come along. Here, sit down.
Thanks.
You've been briefed on this project, I imagine?
No. I was told to report to the Oceanic Import Company. I was to find you there. It looks like you found me.
Yes. This is the Oceanic Import Company.
This? Well, it's practically a barren room.
All we need. Now, about your reason for being sent here. You know nothing about it?
Nothing.
Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, a foreign freighter will dock at Pier 2.
A freighter? I didn't think this port had any overseas traffic.
Very little. It's primarily a fishing town. But as I say, tomorrow at 8
Pier
a.m.
2, okay.
In that freighter's cargo is a small crate of canned tuna. It's listed for delivery to the Oceanic Import Company.
Canned tuna?
That's right.
What in the world does the party want with
Everything in time, Cvetic. Everything in time.
All right. Go on.
You will meet that freighter in the morning, comrade, as a representative of Oceanic Imports. You will check with the cargo inspectors to see that our crate is properly dispersed.
That's all?
That crate of canned goods must not go astray.
Why not?
Because, Svetic, in those cans are microfilm of top-secret documents from the Communist International.
Oh, I see. Oh, what sort of documents?
The new revised plan for Red action within the United States. The new timetable for the proletariat advance.
I see. Canned goods seem to be going up in value.
Yes. But if you should permit these canned goods to reach the open market, the price will be frightening.
Let's see here. Here we are. Oceanic Import Company. That it?
Yeah, that's it. Has the crate been checked through yet?
It's not going to be checked through at all. Crate's gone.
Gone?
Yeah?
What are you talking
Here. Here's the manifest straight from the ship. Says the canned tuna was damaged in shipment. Started to spoil, went bad.
Here, just a minute. Let me see that.
There it is, black and white. Your crate of canned stuff went bad. Last night, the crew dumped the crate overboard.
It was there in black and white on the cargo report, all right. A crate of canned tuna had been tossed to the bottom of the murky harbor. Now the official red timetable had been put to sleep in the deep, out of reach of the eager commies. But I was still very much within reach of Comrade Wagner.
This report from the cargo inspector, Svetic. You're sure it's complete?
I'm afraid so, Comrade.
Get your coat.
What?
Your coat. Put on your coat.
Where are we going?
I'm taking you for a boat ride.
Now, look, Wagner, it's not my fault that the crate
You
was
needn't
thrown.
try explaining anything, Svetic. Just get your coat and come along.
Now, just 1 minute.
Are you afraid of the water, Svetic?
All right. Let's go.
Just like the American bourgeoisie, eh, Svetic? Our own little yacht and everything.
Yeah, everything.
Why so glum, comrade? Don't you enjoy the sea air?
I'm a little fed up with this mystery routine you've been giving me. My stake in this project is as great as yours, Wagner, and I don't know why...
Relax,
I
Svetic.
think I'm entitled
Relax. I'm about to show you exactly where our crate was thrown.
Our crate is at the bottom of the
There's
harbor.
Point Frugas over there, the entrance to the harbor. Just beyond it, our diligent comrades tossed the crate off the freighter into the water.
Comrades? You mean we had party workers on the ship who...
Svetic, you really didn't think the party would let so valuable an item out of its hands for even a moment.
Well,
The crate was tossed overboard at a specified point by specially instructed comrades on the crew of the freighter. In this way, we avoided the risk of a possible cargo inspection on the dock. Understand now?
Yeah, I guess so. Seems like the hard way to do things, though.
Difficult, perhaps, but safe. Now, note this location carefully, Svetic. It will be up to you to get the crate with the microfilm out of the water.
Oh, I see. I see.
You'll hire a diving crew, dredge the bottom. Oceanic Imports will secure the permit.
Hey!
Now,
Hey, senores! Hey, you with the motor!
Who's that doing that hollering?
Go away with the motor, senores! Por favor, senores, go away! You scary fish!
one of those fool fishermen.
Better change your course, Wagner. You're heading toward his nets.
Go the other way, senores! Go away with the motor, please!
Hey, take it easy. What are you doing?
Let him change his course. He's out to snare some measly fish. We're out to haul in the world.
Well, thank you, operator. Here you are.
Beaker.
Bigger, this is Red.
Oh, hi, Matt. Where are you?
Still sloshing around the waterfront. Listen, Beaker. My little chums have tucked away a crate of hot microfilm. The FBI can use it.
Yeah? Where is it?
At the bottom of the harbor.
At the bottom? Oh, fine. Can we reach it?
I'll give you the location. I've been ordered to dredge it out for the commies. But I'll stall it off till
We'll
you can...
put the Coast Guard right on it. They get... Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
What about you? Won't your red playmates get wise?
Well, if you get the job done tonight, they'll...
Look, Matt, we don't want to be fishing you out of the drink, too, you know.
Get it done tonight. I'll keep Wagner away from the shore. Now, look, here's the location. Got a pencil?
Right. Let's have it.
The fog that night was thicker than ever, a sodden blanket that smothered all activity in the harbor. I kept Wagner away from the shore, all right, but the fog kept the Coast Guard away, too. When Wagner met me the next morning, the commie timetables were still asleep in the deep. Wagner, however, was very much awake.
The diver to get the crates, Svetic. All arranged?
Well, you know, the crews around here are pretty expensive. I've been shopping around for a decent price.
Price? Svetic, do you realize what the price will be if we lose those microfilms? No time for false economy now, idiot. Just get that job done.
It just couldn't be done last night, Matt. If you can figure a way to sweep the fog out of the harbor, we'll get that crate lifted. But...
Beaker, I can't stall Wagner any longer. You've got to get that job done tonight, fog or no fog.
Well, we'll try, Matt. We'll do it somehow.
Svetic, just why are you in the office now?
I just got in. Why?
This is the second day you postponed the diving job.
I know. That fog's been awful soupy out
At night, yes. But the days have been clear enough. If you can't handle a simple task like this, comrade...
I can handle it, Wagner. Don't worry about that.
I'm not worrying, Svetic. But I suggest you start worrying a little more. If the crate isn't out of the water and in our hands tomorrow...
Beaker.
Oh, this is Red, Beaker.
Oh, I've been waiting for you to call.
What's the matter?
Matt, are you sure you gave me the right location for that crate?
Sure. We checked it twice, didn't we?
Well, the Coast Guard had divers walking all over the harbor bottom. They combed every inch of it. No crate, no microfilm, nothing.
Nothing. Beaker, it's got to be there. I know it's there. Maybe the tide or the currents or something.
The Coast Guard knows enough to allow for that. The crate just isn't there, Matt. Somebody has picked it off the floor of the harbor, and it's not the FBI.
Oh, great. Great. Well, keep your boys around, Beaker. They may be picking me out of the harbor next.
December 17th, 1952. I was a communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
And here's the Cinnamon Bear.
The oldest known children's Christmas cereal in radio history, the Cinnamon Bear, featuring some of the most popular actors in radio history, including Elliot Lewis, Joseph Kearns, Verna Felton, Lou Merrill, Frank Nelson, Howard McNear, and child actress Barbara Jean Wong. 85 years later, this series of Judy and Jimmy traveling to Maybeland to recover their silver stars still fascinates youngsters of all ages. Now we're offering the entire 26-episode series of The Cinnamon Bear via download for a Buy Me a Coffee donation of $10 or more at classicradio.stream. Support Classic Radio Theater and have The Cinnamon Bear for your family to enjoy for years to come. Go to classicradio.stream and donate $10 or more, and I'll send you a link for immediate download. classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now more of I Was a Communist for the FBI, December 17th, 1952.
Now back to Dana Andrews, starring as Matt Cvetic in I Was a Communist for the FBI, and the second act of our story.
The United States Coast Guard had spent the night scouring the bottom of that murky harbor, searching in vain for the crate of communist microfilm. Now it was my turn. By early afternoon, I was on the barge with a diving crew and Comrade Eric Wagner, who had come along, evidently, to expose his nerve endings. We inched toward the area beyond Point Frugus, with Wagner becoming increasingly jumpy every bit of the way. I was wondering how he was going to react when he learned the bitter truth when one of the crew hopped from the deck of the tug to the barge.
Hey, which one of you is Mr. Svetic?
I am. What's up?
Well, I was up there checking these instructions with the pilot of the tug, and
They're all right, aren't they? Your crew can understand them, can't they? I mean, nothing is wrong.
No, everything's fine. You're sure you want the divers to go ahead with this job?
Well, yeah. That's what we hired them for.
Huh? Okay, you're the boss.
Now, just a moment. What's on your mind?
Well, this crate we're looking for, it's a crate of canned tuna fish, ain't it?
Yes, of course it is. Is there any doubt about that?
No, just that one of them Portuguese fishermen pulled in a whole crate of canned tuna the other day.
What?
What's this? Where? Where was he fishing?
He'd spread his nets right out there where we're going. Leastwise, that's what I understand.
And you say he pulled in a case of canned tuna?
Yeah. I saw him tie up at the dock. He was one happy fisherman, that guy. No, I ain't sure it was your crate he hauled in, but...
Turn back. Tell the pilot to turn back.
Don't be foolish, Wagner. We've gone this far. We might as well
Turn
go...
back, I said. We can't let that fisherman... You. Who's the fisherman? What's his name?
How do I know his name? I just see him once in a while on the docks.
Who is he, man? For the love of heaven, who is he?
Quit yanking up my shirt.
Mike, we'd like to find that fisherman. What did he look like?
Well, like a fisherman. They all look alike to me.
Well, isn't there anything that... Well, you saw his boat. Did it have a name or anything?
Yeah. I come to think of it, Spanish name, or maybe Portuguese. A pal. You know, like the song. Paloma, that's it, La Paloma.
Turn back. We have to find him. Turn back, I said.
Listen, will you quit clawing at me?
Tell that pilot to turn back immediately.
It'll be a pleasure. More ruckus about some crummy cans of spoiled fish.
For the sake of that unsuspecting fisherman, I had to find him before Wagner did. If he'd opened those cans and found the secret commie microfilms, the Reds were licked. But if Wagner got to the fisherman first, he was in for trouble. Bad trouble. Searching the harbor area, we found that most of the fishing boats were out at work on the water and wouldn't return until about sundown. As for the inevitable fog, it didn't help a bit. The only thing I could find with no trouble was Wagner. He stuck to my side like a barnacle with a complex.
Svetic, I hold you fully responsible for this mess.
Me? Why me?
If you hadn't postponed the diving for 2 days...
Oh, cut it out.
I intend to file a complete report of your laxity with the Control Commission as soon as...
Look, Wagner, we're wasting time this way. We ought to split up. Go in different directions.
Might be wise.
Look, you search the south end of the harbor, and I'll cover this bay area. We'll cut the time in half.
Good idea. And Svetic, don't stop looking till you find that boat, the La Paloma.
Don't worry, comrade. I'm as anxious to find that fisherman as you are. The murky waterfront was well covered that afternoon. I roamed the bustling piers, creaking docks. I studied the flocks of fishing boats huddled at anchor in the crescent of the shoreline. But La Paloma seemed to have flown from her nest. I walked along the edge of the seawall, trying to read the names on the boats that swayed at anchor below me. One boat swayed more than the others, as if to keep time with the loud singing that flowed from her deck. That boat bore the name La Paloma.
Hey, mister! You call me, senor?
Yeah, is that your boat?
Si, she's mine. My bonita.
You mind if I come aboard?
Come down, amigo. You can jump from the wall, all right?
I can try.
Okay, amigo, take a chance. Leave.
There goes.
Ah, buenos dias, senor. You know how to mend the nets?
No, I'm sorry. I came to talk business.
Fishing's my business, senor. So we talk about mending nets, eh?
Well, I'm with the Oceanic Import Company.
Huh?
Yeah, we import foods, canned goods, tuna fish, that sort of thing.
Tuna fish, eh? I import too. I catch a whole crate of canned tuna in my nets. Big importer, that's me. I give you competition, eh?
Oh, that tuna you found. That's why I want to talk to you.
You want some? I sell you some pretty cheap.
No, No, I don't think you'll want any either. The fish in those cans is bad. It's spoiled.
Bad fish in cans?
Yeah, I hope you haven't eaten any. Spoiled tuna can poison you, you know.
See, I know. You sure my tuna is bad, senor?
Look, I spent all day looking for you so I could warn you. I didn't do it because I needed the walk.
See. Maybe I'd better tell my wife, eh?
Well, look, I'll do it for you if you like. After all, my company's responsible.
See, you do it. You tell my wife I mend the nets.
Okay, where do you live?
Right down the bay shore. 221 bay shore. Over that way.
Okay. Oh, my name's Savetic. What's yours?
Tamorina. Pietro Tamorina. My wife, she's Marie. You see her. Make her give you up the canned fish.
I hope she won't mind my butting in.
Go on. You tell her. But, amigo, hey. You be quiet about it. Do not wake the baby.
Well, I was in the lead now. I'd found the fisherman, and I knew now where the crate was located. I was all set for the home stretch. I looked up to judge the distance for my little leap back to the seawall, and suddenly I knew my lead was gone. There on the seawall, looking down at Tamorina and me, was Comrade Wagner.
And the conclusion of I Was a Communist for the FBI from December 17th, 1952 follows these messages. You're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of I Was a Communist for the FBI. Treason Comes in Cans, December 17th, 1952.
Come up here, Svetic.
Sure. Give me a hand.
You found the boat and the man, I see, Svetic.
Uh-huh.
Does he have the crate?
No.
He hasn't? Then who has it?
I'm not sure. Come on, let's walk.
Hey, signori!
Oh, what is it, Tamorina?
You head for the wrong way, amigo. I told you my house is that way.
Losing your sense of direction, Svetic? Come on.
See?
Mrs. Tamorina?
What do you want?
I'm Matt Svetic. This is Mr. Wagner from the Oceanic Import Company.
No, nothing today.
It's imperative that we talk to you, madam.
My baby is sleeping.
We must talk to you now, right now.
Por favor, senor, not so loud, eh?
We just talked to your husband. It's about that crate of canned food he hauled in the other day.
So? It is his, no?
It belongs to our company, madam. We've come to claim it.
Oh, nobody claim it. Pietro hauled it from the water in his snare. What's not yours?
Well, let me explain, Mrs. Tamorina. That canned fish is bad. It's rotten, spoiled.
Bad? Why so bad?
Bad. No good. Can't you understand that?
Senor, if you wake my baby, I'll call a cop.
You'll do nothing of the sort. You'll...
Ooh, you. There, you see, you wake my baby. Adios, senores. Go away, adios.
Mrs. Tamorina, please. This is important.
Adios. Go away, go.
Madam, you're a fool. If you eat that canned stuff, you may kill your whole family.
Kill, huh?
That tuna fish is no good. It's poison.
Huh?
That's why we threw it to the bottom of the harbor. Food like that is dangerous.
Oh.
What's wrong?
Oh, my sister. I gave some of them to my sister.
Will we never see the end of this chase?
Where does your sister live?
Come in. I must fix the baby. My sister, she lives down the street, right close to the bait shop. Por favor, senor, the baby.
Svetic, stay here. I'll get the sister.
No, you stay with Mrs. Tamorino. I can make it faster.
You get along better with this woman.
Just stay put. I'll be back.
Svetic, just a minute. Svetic.
There was no time to argue now. I had to get away from Wagner in a hurry. I ran toward Mrs. Tamorina's sister's house, passed it, and kept right on running till I reached the bait shop. There was a payphone on the rear wall. I started dialing the local FBI office, but I realized that by the time they'd covered the distance, Wagner and the microfilms would be gone. Hello? Police headquarters? Oh, senor, a policeman to my house. Hurry. I live at 221 Bay Shore, senor. A man is trying to steal from my house. Hurry, please. Eh? A name? Or me? My name is Tamorina. You got that? Pietro Tamorina. I knew the local police would find Wagner there, all right. But to make sure the evidence was found, too, I called the FBI and told them to follow through on Wagner's arrest. Once those microfilms were linked to Wagner, one more red would be erased from the commie spectrum. In a matter of minutes, the police car zoomed by the bait shop and stopped at the Tamorina home. I walked away from the phone and turned inland, away from the shoreline. The fog was beginning to roll in from over the water, a soggy veil to hide the face of the waterfront. But this time, the fog was like a welcome friend. It gave me cover, obscurity, the security of darkness. But when you must wallow in treachery to defeat treachery, you learn to greet the gloom more readily. You walk more securely in darkness, as long as you walk alone. This is Dana Andrews, ladies and gentlemen. It was Ralph Waldo Emerson who said, "We want a state of things which allows every man the largest liberty compatible with the liberty of every other man." We have that state of things in America today. 150 million definitions of the word liberty, one for every citizen of the United States, and room for every one of them to flourish. That in itself is the essence of liberty. In the story you just heard, names, dates, and places are fictitious to protect innocent persons. Many of these stories are based on incidents in the life of Matt Cvetic, who worked undercover for the FBI. Next week, another fantastic adventure. Join us then, won't you?
December 17th, 1952, I was a communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks to Ted over at RadioMemories.com for this episode of Lum-n-Abner, a newly restored version. This is from December 17th, 1946. It appears Duncan Hines has visited the Jot 'em Down store.
Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
I dog his lum. I believe you're right.
No, see. Hello, Jot 'em Down store. This is Lum-n-Abner.
See what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, as we look in on the little community today, we find Lum in bed at his house. Abner and Grandpappy are standing just outside of his room talking. Listen.
Yeah, Grandpap, I think Lum's waking up now, so why don't you run on over to the store? Doc Weathers is over there, you know, but he sort of gets things mixed up.
Yeah, I'll go over and help him out. You're sure Lum's going to be all right now?
Yeah. Doc Miller said he was actually all right last night. Just dazed quite a bit is all.
Well, I think he would be dazed. Whenever he fainted yesterday, he hit his head on the cook stove, didn't he?
Yeah, that's all that saved him, I reckon. Hitting his head that way sort of broke his fall.
Well, that's good.
We carried him over to his place yesterday, and he slept right now ever since, so he ought to be good and rested up by now.
It ought to be, yeah.
You better get on over to the store.
Yeah, all right. If Lum gets a relapse or if you need anything, just call.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I believe I hear him now. I'll talk to you later, Grandpap.
Oh.
I'm coming, Lum. Just take it easy now.
Oh, me. Oh, my head.
You're going to be all right now, Lum, old boy. I'll bring you a nice basket of fruit, see?
Basket of fruit?
Yeah, apples, bananas. Well, I see the bananas is done it already. Grandpappy Spears was here for a while. You know how he loves bananas. Them plums there's good, though. I tasted one or two of them. I believe there's one left down in here somewhere.
Wait a minute. What are you bringing me fruit for? And what are you and Grandpap doing over here? What time of the day is it anyway?
Oh, about 8:20 or so.
8:20?
Yeah.
What did I go to bed so early for? I don't generally go to bed till around 9.
Well, this is 8:20 in the morning. The next day, this ain't night no more.
What are you talking about?
Well, you've been in bed since yesterday afternoon.
I have.
Why, sure. See, we bring you over here to your place after you hit your head on the stove.
Well, I never hit my head on no stove.
You did done it, Lum. Don't you recollect? You fainted when you found out that we'd made a mistake about who Duncan Hines was.
Yeah, well, Duncan Hines. Oh, my goodness, where is he? I've got to square things with him.
Now, Lum, get back in bed.
No, let go of me, Abner. I've got to explain what a terrible mistake we made.
Just a minute. Lay down now. Now. You can't find him no ways. He's gone.
Quit sitting on my chest.
Well, I'm just trying to hold you in bed. You ain't no condition to be up running around. That nightgown flapping around your ankle there, you catch a pneumonia.
Did you say he's gone?
Yes,
Oh, me, I'm ruined. Oh, what a terrible mistake.
Oh, it weren't so terrible.
It couldn't have been worse. Here this tramp friend of Willie the Boodler's comes in. We feed him all them wonderful victuals and treat him like a king. And then the real Mr. Hines comes in, and I give him some little old sandwich, and mightn't I throw him out of the place?
Yeah, well, it's a lucky thing you done that, too.
Lucky?
Why, sure. Lum, you're liable to be famous now.
What for? Being the first man that tried to get Duncan Hines not to eat at his restaurant?
No, on account of that sandwich.
All right, Abner, this ain't no time to be funny. My head aches too much to listen to your joshing.
Lum, I ain't joshing. That sandwich is the best thing that ever happened to you.
What are you talking about, anyway? That sandwich is just some little thing that I throwed together. We was giving all our good stuff to that friend of Willie's.
Yeah, and Mr. Hines said that sandwich was the most oddest thing he'd ever ate.
I don't doubt that any.
He said it was wonderful.
Wonderful?
Yeah. He said you could build yourself a big reputations on them things.
Are you telling the truth?
Why, just as sure as I'm standing here eating this pear out of your fruit basket.
Yeah, get your hand out of that bag.
Now, Lum, I've done got a bit into it now.
Well, go
I might
ahead
well finish it.
It's ruined.
Well, it ain't ruined. Tastes good.
Then you can have it now. I don't want it.
Okay, that's a good.
I hope you're enjoying the fruit you brought me.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's uncommonly good. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Hines said he loved and admired the sandwich, Lum. And if you hadn't have fainted there, why, he said he'd have got you to make him another Lumberger.
Lumberger?
Well, that's the name he give him. You give him, or somebody give him.
Yeah, wait a minute. I do recollect something about that. He was asking me what I called them, what kind of burgers it was, and you called out my name just then, and he thought that was the name of the sandwich. Lumberger. Sure, I recollect that.
Yeah, well, that's what he was calling them. And he said they're different from anything he's ever run into before. Oh, from the way he talked, I think he's going to give you a good recommend on account of them.
Well, if that don't beat the bugs you're fighting.
He said he wanted to get the receipt for him from you, too.
He did?
Yeah. He might be going to put that in his book. I don't know.
You say he's left town already?
Yeah. See, this was yesterday that all this happened, Mom. You've been asleep ever since then.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
You had concussions or something. Mr. Hines helped bring you over here to your place, and Then he taking care of you while I call Doc Miller. Oh, he's a nice feller.
Grannies, he must be. Say he was here waiting on me?
Yeah, he was right here in this room.
Grannies, wished I'd have been conscientious so's I could have enjoyed his company.
Yeah, well, you missed out on a lot. Lum, do you mind if I have that apple there?
No, go ahead. Eat the basket and all.
Oh, that's the prettiest thing. I've just been sitting here, sort of just admiring that.
So he said I could build up a big reputation out of them Lumbergers, huh?
Uh-huh.
Get famous, huh?
Oh, yes, he said you'd get awful famous with him.
Then take that out of your mouth when you're talking.
He said that you could get awful famous with him.
That's better. Well, what do you know about that? Well, it just goes to show you if you got talent, you're bound to be a success sooner or later. Can't keep a good man down. I've always said that.
Well, I don't know. Bouncing your head on that stove yesterday done a pretty good job of keeping you down, looked like.
Lum-n-abner, inventor of the world's famous Lumberger. Lumbergers by Lum of Pine Ridge. Lum the Burger King. Have you tried a Lumberger lately?
No, thanks.
Have you got a little Lumberger in your home?
I believe I will try some of these grapes here, though. Doggos, them things looks good.
Famous at
Love
last.
grapes.
After all these years of trying to make a name for myself, I finally get famous over some little old thing like a sandwich. Yeah, that's life for you.
Oh! Doggos, I thought these are seedless grapes.
There's a wastebasket over there.
Much about just like biting into a shotgun shell.
Yeah, never did try that. Them
Well,
good.
don't. It'll ruin your plates. I might now done it.
Feller goes along for years just being an average feller, just run-of-the-mill success, and then one day when he don't expect it, he hits it. He's mediocre overnight. After all the great ideas I've had in my life, I finally make the grade with a little old sandwich.
Well, what's that little raisin doing on there? Look there,
Something
right
I
on the
never
grapevine.
give no thought to at all.
More likely the secret of your success right there.
Of course, I guess it ain't so curious. Sort of how a lot of other great men and inventors got famous. Take Marconi, for instance.
Who?
Marconi, famous inventor. Another famous one. You've heard his name.
I don't believe I have, to tell the truth.
Well, he was a famous inventor.
I'm glad to hear he made good. What did he invent?
What did he invent? Well, undoubtedly, you've ate macaroni, haven't you?
Why, sure. I've ate lots of that. Never did know who invented, though. If you ever run into him again, Lum, ask him if he can't invent some way to eat that stuff without getting it wrapped around your neck.
Well, he's dead.
Choked to death, huh? Must have been working on it right then.
And then there's Alexander Graham Bell. You've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him, yes.
Graham Cracker's done it for him.
Well,
Put him right where he is today. See, it's just some little thing.
yeah.
And then there's Newton.
Yeah, who?
Sir Isaac Newton. You've read about him.
I don't believe I have.
He was sitting under an apple tree one day, and an apple fell and hit him right on the head. And he went home and invented the Fig Newton.
Well, just a minute now. What's getting hit on the head with the apple got to do with making Fig Newtons?
Well, I don't know for sure. I never did quite get that part of the story.
You sure that weren't a fig tree he was sitting under?
No, it was an apple tree. I think the idea was that when this apple hit him on the head, it started some wheels to turn around. Joggled his brain, sort of. Somehow or other, he come up with the idea for the Fig Newton. I don't know, Abner. It was so long ago, I just recollect that.
It looks like that ought to give him the idea for apple dumplings. Apple Newtons. What did he fall on after the apple hit him, Lum?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
He must have hit a fig tree some way.
The only point I was trying to make is that a feller can get famous over some little old common thing that you never... Wait a minute, I think that was my ring. Would you answer the phone for me?
Oh, yeah, sure. You stay right in bed. Yeah, I'll get it right now.
Famous at last.
Hello, Lum-n-abner's residence.
Lumberger.
Oh, what is it, Grandpap?
Lumberger.
Yeah, he's feeling all right, but I don't think he'll be back to work today.
Lumberger.
There is, huh? Huh? Well, I'll be dead. Just a minute. Hey, Lum, Grandpap says the restaurant's jammed full of folks all wanting to get one of them Lumbergers.
Granny, He says folks heard about it already.
Why, the whole town looks like. Well, what are you going to do about it? You ain't in no shape to go down there and do no cooking. Doc Miller said you ought to stay in bed another day anyway.
Well, you can go down there and cook 'em just as well as me. Ain't nothing to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hello, Grandpap. Tell them to keep their shirts on. I'll be down there in 2 minutes. Yeah, so long. Well, I'll better get down there then.
Yeah, don't waste a minute. And let me know how you make out.
Yeah, I will. I'll tend to... by the way, how do you make a Lumberger? What do you put in it?
Oh, you just take a bun and some hamburger and some, oh, my goodness.
What's the matter?
I forgot what I put in it.
Huh?
That hit on the head must have jarred my memories out of me. Here I am, famous for Lumbergers, and I don't even know how to make one.
Well, that's fame for you, false and fleeting.
From December 17th, 1946, Lum-n-Abner on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. I have mentioned numerous times that Lum-n-Abner are some of my earliest favorites. And hearing those in the 70s in Kansas, they were still running the shows back as late as that, syndicated shows. And I have to tell you, I dearly love the old boys, and they did a wonderful job. Just out of their own heads. Lum-n-Abner, as it was broadcast December 17th, 1946, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You can get all these shows from Ted at radiomemories.com. Visit his webpage, radiomemories.com. He provides shows like this on cassette, CD, or on flash drive for your computer. That is at radiomemories.com. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also find places where our shows are available to download as podcasts. You can also find our social media links there. And you can also contact me and buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money doesn't buy me coffee. Instead, it helps us acquire additional great classic radio collections. That's at classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. Thank you for tuning in. Thank this radio station and support their advertisers. Most importantly, tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.